Cool is subjective. I think I'm very much inspired by artisanal South Asian fashion. Being South Asian, being of Indian descent, there is such a myriad of different artisan crafts that make up India, whether that's embroidered Fulkari, to natural dyeing. And so I think all of those practices and natural fabrics like linen, cotton, really make up my favorite things about my personal style. The slow fashion community needs more candid conversations about the state of the industry as it relates to who is disproportionately affected by the fashion industry and how we could actively center BIPOC communities, so Black, Indigenous, and people of color. I think very recently we've seen the rise of these conversations, but it's not enough to just do your token, have a Black or brown person on a campaign. I think thinking about decolonization and diversity and inclusion, all of these topics as ongoing processes is very important. And the slow fashion community, because it is centered on reimagining the fashion industry as it currently exists, should be at the forefront of thinking, what are the conversations that we have not been having as communities, as an industry, etc. I think it's a very common narrative for a lot of folks that grew up as part of the diaspora between East and West, whatever that might look like, to be inspired by all elements of your identity. So for me, I'm very much inspired by the style of my mother and grandmother, but I also have my own take in terms of silhouettes and colors as well. So I would say my style is very much a fusion between these two worlds. Once you really understand how the fashion industry is operating in a very colonial manner, that is predicated on a racist past, on a colonial past, and often exploits Black and brown bodies so it could be produced at such a low price point, we start to see how all of these issues are interconnected. So I think the Black Lives Matter movement has really pushed a culture of accountability, that brands need to contend with racism as it relates to corporate cultures and how their supply chains operate as well. And I hope that in a post-COVID world, the energy that our world really has right now for change and revolution continues to follow suit.